you think the city of Patterson should furnish water and sewer to the Crow's Landing Naval Air Base project?
No, but I think when we look at water, I think we need to look at a regional, or I should say, West Side facility. I think we need to leverage our usage and our costs together. So outright, no, but I think in a joint venture, I think it's something that we need to look at.
Okay. And that's even if West Park, PPC West Park, were the developer of that base, they still might need to be in this regional solution.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I've said it before, if the courts say they move forward with the project and our Board of Supervisors say that we're moving forward with the project and we can't stop it as is, I think we need to have that discussion on how we, resolve the quantity and quality water issues.
Great. What would you do about the M Street crossing?
Well, that's always been, since I moved here, a question in my mind, and I've asked. And it seems like, although Caltrans is the authority, I don't know why our state legislators, both the state senator and state assembly person, haven't moved on that. And I know that there are some things that our Congress person can do, but it's a state jurisdiction, and I'm not sure why nothing has been done. I know there's talk about the realignment of that, and that might help. But I think, unfortunately, until somebody gets killed, the state's not going to pay attention. We need to champion that particular effort. I think some resolution will come once that school is being built on the east side, but that doesn't alleviate the danger of crossing MN33.
Great. You said law enforcement was one of the big issues facing Patterson. What specifically is your plan for law enforcement in the city?
Well, I think that there needs to be a more positive relationship with law enforcement and our other public services. But when it comes to law enforcement, we don't have the revenue to put more officers on the street. And I'm not just talking about suppression. I'm talking about education and having the officers build more visible relationships with our community. And I'd like to help do that by, one, we need to really give the training to our residents on how to be safer, what to look out for. The extreme is violent crimes, but prevention, whether it's violent crimes or minor crimes, it's really the only factor or the variable is training residents on what to look for and how to prevent. Neighborhood watch is good. The difference between a robbery and a home invasion is people occupying the residence as the crime's being committed. And I think the vulnerability of residents lends itself to criminal activity. So if we can help people become more aware, I think it will help law enforcement do their jobs better, build stronger relationships, bring a safer and stronger community. And we need to give that education to the people. And so I think that's one of the different ways I'd like to help law enforcement and the community build stronger relationships.
Okay. What city mirrors your vision of Patterson, and why?
What city mirrors?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't really say completely mirrors. I think a lot of it has to do with where I grew up, Union City. It has become probably, the last time I checked, about 77,000 in population. Their geography is up against the hills on their east side of the community. It's become very diverse. But there are several cities, and I'm still exploring about who might be doing well in terms of amenities. Turlock seems to do some things well. They're suggesting that we should, model after Turlock. I'm still in the progress of looking at Turlock. West Sacramento is another city that I think have done things well. But, I think we need to look at different cities that do various things well and bring them back in to see how we can mold those promising practices into our city.
Okay. With most development being geared towards Sperry and Ward, what can you do to ensure the east side does not fall further behind?
Well, no one's really proposed anything in terms of the zoning out there and what we can do in terms of industrial and commercial. I think that there are certain areas that First of all, we're looking at in the general plan process, the revision of the general plan. I know that there has been discussions of maybe moving in that direction, but until we really sit down and get the GPAC's recommendation, sit down as a planning commission and take to the city for final discussion, I think that we need to remember that we need job development and training facilities in terms of getting people prepared for those jobs. But it's going to really be that dialogue that we have at those different levels in terms of finding out where to best situate the actual facilities and buildings. And right now it seems to be over by Sperry, closer to Highway 5. So I don't know if we can do those things on the east side right now. I think maybe in the future. But right now I think the focus is that particular area that you mentioned.
Great. Are you for or against the half-cent sales tax? Why?
I'm for it. I haven't formally endorsed it. I think my concern was the interchange from 99 to Highway 5 and the dialogue that possibly will take that interchange towards the southern part and not the northern part, like let's say to Zacharias or somewhere along that area. I thought that they had to decide and put on the ballot that particular direction before it went to the people in November. Since then, I've been told and have learned that they don't have to, that there's going to be the GPA, the Joint Powers Authority, that involves Turlock, involves Patterson, and involves Newman in that discussion. But you know, I was just concerned that the West Park project, Mr. Camilos would take advantage of a decision that would help the interchange and give a road access to that particular project and provide more leverage for that project. But you know, I don't necessarily believe in taxing ourselves all the time, although I believe this is necessary. There's an oversight committee that's going to see how this project is going to expend the money. You know, what Patterson and other cities have said they're going to do, they have to do. The only thing they can do is rearrange the priority, but not substitute it for another project. So as long as there's oversight and citizens are involved in that process, then I'm supporting Measure S.
Okay. Will you be voting for it?
Yes, I will.
Okay. How would you encourage smart growth and development for the future of our economy and city?
Well, I would really like to champion green practices. We should be a green city. The governor has signed 2 pieces of legislation, and it's really going to affect how we talk about the rest of our general plan revision. And one's an Assembly bill and one's a Senate bill. Assembly Bill 32 and Senate Bill 375. And in a nutshell, and again, we need to start looking at those particular pieces of legislation. Those are law now. We have to pay attention in terms of green practices. I think if we get on the front end and hit that head on, I think we can go ahead and do the things that we need to do in regards to those particular areas. And I think it would create more jobs, it would create a better environment, and I think that we would take a lead in developing green practices in our developing community.